First graders, today we are going to make a little neighborhood out of a brown paper bag. When you get your paper bag, Mrs. Cleary will have already cut the bottom off of it. So when you get your paper bag, it's going to look something like this. So you'll be able to open it up, put your hand through it and in it, and I'm going to have you cut along one of the folds. It does not matter what fold it is. And when I do that, it opens up into a long piece of paper. So from this paper, you can cut as many buildings or houses or stores out of it as you'd like. So you can see from my example, I have 4 buildings all out of one bag. So I could cut some skinny buildings. There's one tall one. Maybe I'm going to cut a wider one, but maybe it's going to be shorter. I still have lots of bag left. You do not have to use the whole bag, but you kind of want to fill your paper up with buildings. I'm going to cut that weird shape that's cut out of the top off. It's looking good. That one's a little taller. And I might use this other tall, skinny one as well. They do not have to be all side by side. So your buildings could overlap. That means one is on top of the other to kind of show space. So I'm going to glue these buildings down, and then all I'm going to do with my scraps is cut out shapes. Shapes for windows, doors, roofs, plants, trees, whatever you might have in your neighborhood. Do you notice how everything I'm gluing is touching the bottom of the paper? It'd look pretty silly if I had a house floating up here, right? They're all lining up nice and neat at the bottom. I'm making sure I get a little bit of glue all over those papers. I'm going to have this one overlap, so that means it's going to look like it's in front of this one. So I have a few scraps left of that brown paper. That's okay. All right, now with all the colorful scraps, I'm going to add those decorations, those details, roofs. So I'm kind of looking to see how wide this paper has to be. I'm going to cut it just a little bit wider than the building. And maybe that house is going to be curved at the top. Kind of looks like a silo. Maybe my next house is going to have more of a trapezoid shape. See if that fits that house. Yeah, not bad. You can use any of these scraps for doors or windows. I'm trying to make each house look a little bit different. Maybe I'll cut a triangle for this one. Is that going to fit that house? Oh, it fits this one maybe like that. Okay, so I'm just going to keep adding things. If you look on my finished project, I have a rectangle, and this one I kind of cut a little design on the edge, a bumpy line, and it actually sticks out. So I only glued part of it on. Lots of rectangles in this building for windows and doors. I have tall rectangles, triangles. What are these called on sides of the windows? Shutters, awesome. And this looks like there's maybe a window box that you could plant flowers in. I could have had put flowers in there. I have different kinds of lines I drew. Bumpy lines, zigzag lines, up and down lines, X lines, all for designs and textures. I did a little fringe cutting to make this look like a little bit of grass. I have a planter with some flowers and a planter with a shrub in here. So I filled my whole city with shapes, lines, and it really starts to look like a real neighborhood. So have fun today using your imagination.